Welcome back everyone to Mona's Take. I am your host Mona Rose and we are here to talk about everything reality TV. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss anything we've got coming up. I want to welcome and thank you to all my new subscribers. I appreciate each and every one of you. Tonight's video is going to be on HOH, nominations, Power of Veto, the show that was on tonight, and Carson's interviews. She basically said, we saw the conversation going on between you and Todrick, and you were listening and you were being reasonable and you were being calm. And we saw him weaponize a lot of things against you. That said volumes to me. I don't think personally, and this is my own personal opinion, but I don't believe that Julie really cares for Todrick or his gameplay. And I think she's hoping that somebody will throw him under the bus, because surely CBS is not doing that. Even with tonight's show, what little they showed of the argument between him and Chris was little compared to what he actually said. I don't know why they're protecting him. I guess that's their projected winner. I don't know. It's disgusting. If it were any other season and it weren't celebrities, they would be having that stuff playing. They would not be cutting the live feeds. How many people have been in that house that we have hated by the time they come out because of things they've said that were ignorant and stupid and just downright mean? But they showed all that, but they're not showing any of it with Todrick. Anyway, that actual little tidbit is on Twitter if you want to look up. I'm sure you can probably find it online. I haven't gone and listened to the whole thing yet. So as I told you guys last night, Todrick is the new HOH. Lord help us. They sit there for most of the night playing cards. This is the part of the live feeds that I don't like. When it gets down to so few people, there's not a lot going on. And the feeds tend to get boring. And honestly, after this is over with, if I never hear Todrick's voice again or Misha's voice again, it would be too soon. But it's almost over. Carson tells him that he's got to step up and take over in the kitchen because Carson kept the kitchen on spot, and that he was going to have to do some washing dishes and he was going to have to do some cooking and maybe baking. And then you see him a little bit later with the vacuuming around the kitchen area. And Lamar says at one point, he's telling Misha and them, it was either that he had 12 heart attacks and 6 strokes or 12 strokes and 6 heart attacks. And they're like, oh wow, really? Like, so you're sitting there making fun of the guy the night before because of how much he groans and the way he talks and the way he walks and him being slow and all of this stuff. But now you want to have some compassion or act like you do when everyone else is around? Not a good look. When they did the HOH room reveal last night, Lamar didn't go up. I don't know if he was already asleep. It never showed him on the other feeds. But he never went up to Todrick's room last night. And so I'm sure at some point we will hear about that. So enough about Todrick at the moment. I've started reading and watching some of Carson's interviews, and I had no doubt that once he found out what was going on, that he would take ownership of his mistake, that he would apologize to Shayna and try to make it right. He's telling everybody that he owes her 1,000 apologies and that he just hopes that she forgives him. But he now knows that Todrick flat out lied to him. And in the interview, he says that him and Todrick had a working relationship and that he couldn't imagine that he would actually lie to him. And so he's a bit irritated at the fact that he did over a game. In one of the interviews, they asked Carson to describe each house guest. Cynthia, he said grace. Lamar, he said confused. Misha, he said intense. Todd, he said sly. He said, when Todd first came out in that fox's suit, I knew he was going to be a sly fox. Well, that was kind of cute. And then it got down to Todrick, and he said, God, let me see. I'm going to choose my words wisely here. And he paused for a very long time. And he says he was very tricky. At least Carson knows how to think before he speaks. But he's very regretful. I can't wait to see Todd's reaction to all of the house guests when they get out of the house. Todd tells Lamar and Cynthia that if he wins HOH again, that he's putting Misha and Todrick up and at least getting one of them out. So right now Todd's thinking in his head who would win jury votes. So he's trying to think if he gets HOH, and puts them both up, which one he wants voted out. I think looking at jury votes is probably not the best strategy right now, because Monday night is HOH night after the eviction. So if Todd gets HOH Monday night and he puts those two up, whoever wants the power of veto takes their self off the block and he has to name a replacement. I would be thinking about who's going to win that HOH Wednesday night, because that Wednesday night HOH will determine who goes to that final 2 chair. So I would be thinking about jury votes, but I'd also be thinking about who I can beat in the next HOH competition, because on that Wednesday night they all get to play. So I don't know, that would be a tough one. I would say Misha's the biggest competitor, but then Todrick's coming through and he's winning stuff now. You know, he won a veto and he won an HOH. So I don't know. I don't honestly know what I would do if I was in that predicament. Lamar is seen talking to Big Brother, and I'm guessing that they probably played this song this morning while the feeds were off. You know how they give them 3 songs or whatever in the morning when they first wake up. And Lamar says, "How do you not sing Careless Whisper by George Michael?" And then he looks up at the camera and he says, "You didn't think I knew that one, did you, Big Brother?" It was just cute. So the nominations are in, and of course he went after Todd and Lamar. So Todd and Lamar are on the block, and they played the veto today. And the winner of the veto was Todd. So Todd is going to take himself off the block, which means Cynthia is going to go up. And then it switches to a conversation with Todrick and Misha. And Todrick asks Misha if she's afraid sometime that if she's going to be the victim of the cookout too. He says, now that Todd's pulling himself off the block, I could always say, Misha, take a seat. And Misha says, no, thank God. And Todrick says, but could you just imagine though? That would be hilarious. If he's the one that took her out and then they turned around and took him out because he's HOH this week and he can't play Monday, that would be the bomb. That would be the only way that he would be a hero in my eyes right now. But that would be a way that both of them would be out of the house before finale night. That'd be the only way. And Misha said that would just be terrible. She'd be like, oh, well, you got me. Cynthia's had her little birthday party tonight, and they got sushi and wine, and she got her a margarita, which she was very happy about. As a matter of fact, she threatened everybody in the house that if they touched it, she was going to take them out. And then Cynthia and Todd are seen having a conversation, and Cynthia said, this game is so crazy, it changes all the time. I know. That's why we have to win the HOH so we can get one of them out. And I'm thinking, if Todd wins HOH and gets one of those out, is he going to be our savior since Carson wasn't? We could hope. And then Todrick is seen talking about Lamar again, saying that it would be easier on him if Lamar wasn't in the house because Lamar stresses him out. Oh, wow. Like you stress all of us out all the time. Todrick and Misha are up in the HOH room, and they're going over different scenarios on how they can both stay till finale night. And they've just come to the realization that if they're both put on the block Monday night and neither one of them win the veto and the nominations stay the same, that one of them will be going. So now they're kind of scammering, trying to find out what they're going to do. And they're going through each scenario. If Cynthia gets HOH, if Todd gets HOH, if Lamar gets HOH, if so-and-so gets veto. So they'll probably be up there for the next 2 or 3 hours discussing that. I'm over it. So Cynthia, Todd, and Lamar have come to an agreement that if one of them win the HOH, that they're going to put up Misha and Todrick and get one of them out. Let me know in the comments what you think. I know this is a shorter than usual video. Not a lot going on between playing solitaire and eating. There's not a whole lot of game talk left. Little pieces here and there. So I'm going to stick with it and see what else we can come up with. And I'll do another video tomorrow night after the live eviction and the HOH is crowned. I will have another video up shortly after that. So, you guys have a good night, and as always, much love.